Welcome back, everybody, to College COD Day 2. As we're walking into our second series of the night, we get another new face on the broadcast today. Proper Cast is back. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. It feels good to be back for another season of College COD. I feel like I come up with the same lame intro every single time that I start off one of these seasons, but it is always a blast to be back. We get so many schools, some new faces coming in towards the legwork for Black Ops 7, some old faces coming back as well, as we'll get into here in a few moments. But overall, TLDR, man, it feels good to be back, man. This title has been fantastic thus far.
Yeah, emphasis on the old faces, too, and we do get into it. I won't lie, we were laughing about that before getting into this one. But for our second match of the day, after we got a DoorDash of a 3-0 in our first series, we get Southern Indiana Aviators going up against the Marshall Thundering Herd, which is going to be exciting because a couple of these two teams have already played today. Southern Indiana playing off of a loss to Cumberland. Marshall playing off of a win against Evansville Purple Aces. So for Southern Indiana on their side, Andy, it's looking for the bounce back right now after against a team who last year made a very surprising run into the top 8 of the playoffs in CCL.
Yeah, it's a tough look, isn't it, right? Like, you're finally getting off the ground here. CCL season is getting underway, and the last thing you want is to start off your season 0-2. And that's exactly what USI, as you were saying, the Aviators are going to be looking to do, going up against the Bisons, the Marshall University out from West Virginia. Very interesting to be able to see what these two teams are going to be able to produce this early into the CCL season. How much time they even have spent together is beyond me.
It's the big question right now, and we got to look at our series to look at the maps for this best of 5. We get Scar, Den, Scar, Colossus, Raid. Good old fashion Scar to kick this one off, Andy. You know, I haven't really asked you too much about this, and I was talking to Brody about it yesterday, but how are you enjoying the map set so far for BO7?
I'm going to make our main producer and Hot Hands Lounge main exclusivier, John, cringe at this, but I actually really love Scar. I think Scar is probably one of the most versatile maps. I think it's fun across all 3 of the game modes. I think Search and Destroy is a really good place. I think that the hardpoint is even in a better place as well. You get power positions on both sides of the map. You could probably make the argument for, I guess, for Overload, where you get more of an opportunity to park the bus on one side of the map versus the other, but I think we have a fantastic map set. I'm a little bit more numb to the back and forth bang out maps that we get in between Blackheart and Colossus from time to time, but I'll save that for a different point in time because we're at least guaranteed to see that Den, Search, and Destroy. But this Scar hardpoint should be a good litmus test, right? I mean, both these teams are coming off of 3 maps in particular. If you call for a map to have more of a standardized 2-2 setup while all the GAs get figured out post-Major 1 shenanigans, this is going to be it. You're going to have your 2 Dravics, you're going to have your 2 M15s. Whoever spawns on the bad side of the map is going to be going up towards that top church area. Whoever's over towards that good side of the map is going to be able to get over towards that high ground. That's what we're all going to be fighting for when it comes down to it. It's all going to make a whole lot more sense if you're too new to Black Ops 7. This tin control is just about everything as we get underway.
Well, let's make sense out of what we got in front of our eyes. Scar hardpoint loaded in Southern Indiana. Marshall Thundering Herd locked and loaded. And it's already the Aviators coming out with a little bit of that early time. Marshall playing on the back foot from this rotation of P2, but off the back of Nico, Mr. Paralysis himself, they're fighting back into this hill, and they are fighting pretty strong.
I swear, not even about a year and a half ago, I saw this man was like coaching a football team, and now he's like spawning back in, like playoff Concord Maroon back in the days. Like, someone wake up, Red Chase, Jamie Megatron. We are back in towards the mix. Marshall starting off pretty strong, but I mean, USI fighting pretty well. They down towards that locking key. You see the bottom left side of the mini map. Player 5 is going to be the last towards USI's defense to fight over towards P2. They were doing so wonderfully while Marshall were getting lost in towards the sauce, fighting for the spawns over by P5, which they inevitably get, but USI have a fighting chance for this money hill.
The Aviators, good break coming in, but can they hold on? Orbital's a little bit ahead of the curve. He's going to go down way early than the rest of the players coming off that respawn, and it's great from Johnny to stay alive in the backline, wait for his teammates to help him out. 3 go down for Marshall. And they're still going to find a break, at least for this time. Not going to last for too long, as the Aviators still battling for this lead that they do have. Marshall just trying to hold on to what they can get right now with the last 30 seconds. They're doing a good job at least getting a couple feet on this hill time. Going to keep it as even as can be. But as the split feed comes through, it looks like it's going to be Grim last alive for the Aviators. And we got to start looking at the rotation.
Good split spawns, but a moment too late there for Grim to take that route all the way through 10. I talked about it earlier. You can see that big gray blotch in the mini-map You'll be fighting for that power control when it comes around P1, P2, going over towards P3. It's all about that top green control. If you can land nades over the top, the trophy systems are gone for the defending teams of the current hardpoint, which are the Aviators. You can start to fly on forward, but routes are everything in BO7. You know that Marshall will love to take them themselves. They already lost orbitals. Next line of offense is coming through the front over by Concrete Paralysis. Last one standing. He hears the split spawns come through. He gets overwhelmed, and USI hold on.
That's another 3 down. Johnny's on 6 in a row. He's close to that Hellstorm, so you get a streak here if you're Southern Indiana, especially with P5 of Scar just a few hills away. I mean, this would be a great moment for them, and there it is. Johnny finds not only 7, but rips Paralysis for number 8, gets the Hellstorm. Southern Indiana started to come alive in this map 1, and they are looking good in that slaying category.
This is just like a side thing as well. You think about all the Johnnies we've had over the year, right? Like Johnny Tsunami, like we got like Johnny as well, like Gianni currently playing through Strike X and Challengers. Now we got J Johnny. 3 N's, 2 I's, 2 J's. This man can't be stopped on that 15-4. Got that 20-point lead as well. I mean, Marshall are just moments away from regrouping numbers and just overwhelming the very simplistic setups that USI are throwing their way. But they got spawns going over towards Grandma's. Brado's getting active on that 3-speed, drops down. He's able to maintain his top control and the spawn's boot.
Not only that, but going for the fight against Paralysis. He loses that. Still trade out and Grim. He backs off. Good pressure coming in from Marshall to try to take these spawns away. Action with the help, but they go down to Johnny yet again. Paralysis gets the break. One more player to deal with in the backline is Brando. He's going to actually make this one pretty difficult for Marshall still. Not walking away with his time. Actually very sad for Marshall because that was a great break they had going on.
Yeah, Jay just couldn't really sink their teeth into it, though, can they? I mean, it really does kind of talk about the value, the back sticky spawns here on P4. You can see player number 7 going to start bumping Brando to get way ahead of the curve. Tin control coming through. Action down to 47 HP from that gunfight versus Grim. And Johnny died on the other side while calling his Hellstorm missile. So it's going to get in good information. They're trying to get in towards P5. Can't curve it its way in. And now you're losing numbers off of Actions fighting the first.
That's a huge shutdown for Marshall. If you win this fight, if you're orbital, you get some help. So you're still holding on to this P5 spawns at least. Off the back of that streak, you're getting minimal time, but still contesting from the front of this hard point. Johnny up and over. He's got Brando behind him. Quad lines up 3, but it's not enough to lock down that time right away. Marshall still have to do some work to get the back end of this scrap with the far spawns from Southern Indiana. Looks like Marshall finally gonna have a chance to cut this lead, Andy, going into the second set of hills.
Going in towards this second set as well. I mean, that 40-point lead, definitely going to be feeling the back burner of things. Thinking about like that break in towards P2 and that hold on the backside of Grandma's is really the only distinct advantage. Southern Indiana and the Aviators are just not hitting any sort of routes. Let's try to see what they can do going in towards the second set themselves.
And let's hear what it kind of sounds like from the Aviator side. We got to listen in with this team, and I'm excited to hear.
Back right steps.
I'm holding my yellow still. I'm only holding yellow. They can go mid-cut, they can flank their P2, care. We're gonna flank their sandbags. Mid-cut, mid-cut. There's 2 mid-cut. 2 in time, 1 yellow, 2 in time, 1 yellow. One more yellow, come on. All good, slow it down. I'm gonna right side, we spawn blue. They're spawning P5. They are spawning P5. They need to right side time, they have trophy. I can get that.
Yellow, absolute paralysis, absolute yellow. He's pushing out 18.
Blue mid-cut, I'm 1 HP, I'm just staying out 1 right side time.
Oh, he's pushing.
I'm 1 HP.
Help him.
Hey, one more right side time. Nice, good shit. They P5. They
Brando, put on mute field, Brando.
Just stay down. Yes, yeah, I hear you.
You got it?
118. 118. One more 18.
One more red. Weak yellow.
One yellow. Nice, that's great. Looking for I think paralysis. First one. Nice, that's him. Looking for orbitals and Quan. Just stay down. I can
action weak, mid-cut. Nice.
One top green, one back right stairs. One yellow. One yellow, one's gonna flank behind you, blue. Yes, they spawn green. Yes, they're spawning blue.
There's 3. 2 on time, 1
Alright,
top.
I hear you.
Southern Indiana, Andy, they are coming out with some fire in their matchup versus Marshall. This is a team that just got 3-0'd by Cumberland, but you really cannot tell with the confidence that they're bringing to this series. 142 to 84 in the second set of rotations, and really off the back of Johnny, this team looks great.
27 and now 28 and 11 certainly helps will your team forward. Action now looking to keep his head on a swivel. He just gets overwhelmed with numbers, and I would say that USI definitely rectified their issues going through P1. You heard throughout that listen, calling out the different connectors that Scar does have available through P1. Johnny runs out of bullets. Thought he had Orbitals dead to rights, just down to the pistol. But, I mean, just by sheer resilience and just kill discrepancy alone, USI are slated to win this game.
Yeah, they are. I will say, though, Marshall is still keeping this one contested very well in terms of how much they're getting outslayed. If Orbitals can start picking this one up, I mean, you look at a player who can make plays like that to have some impact in getting onto this time, but it's not really translating in terms of what we see at the top of our screens. But down by 50 points, they have the better side of the map for this P4 rotation. If they can get a good chunk of time off this hill, which they're doing, I mean, we're looking at a Marshall comeback right now.
I mean, this is where it needs to start happening, right? You think about the sequence of events that led towards that 40-point lead going in towards that final set, or that previous set, Colin. It was from the 3 to 4, from USI being able to flip the spawns. That's currently what Marshall are doing right now. The Herd are trying to keep them at an AR's length. Orbitals wins a big 1v1. Can he push out over by P2? He overextends, so he gives away his life, and now an opportunity for USI to flank around the back.
It's just working for the front, though. USI just pierced through the hearts of this Marshall setup, and they've already found their way into the hills. So it's all up to Nico now to make a play. He's going to get tracked down by none other than Drawny, who backs up into the house, hoping that the teammates can go big and start to work this hold to P4 to keep their lead going. But 4 down for Marshall. They get themselves back in, and still lots of time to cut this lead.
And when in doubt, blitz it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to live up to the Herd. 30 seconds left to fight over here on P4 before we go over to the rotation towards Church. Johnny trying to be the tip of the spear. He's down to 38 HP. He's waiting for his teammates' assistance. They'll take down Paralysis. Trades come, action doubles down. And the numbers in towards the back helps things out as Quan finds the remainder of the 2. And they're bumping things out. Look at the split spawns, Colin. Orbital's just starting to piece things up. He's warmed up from his very drastic start.
I mean, piece things up and piece things together. This is great from Orbitals. A player who just this year has started to play respawns as well, a Search and Destroy Demon at heart. So it's good to see Orbitals start to fire up for Marshall inside of Game 1 versus Southern Indiana. Quan up top goes down, though. And you can see Southern Indiana still looking for a break over towards P5. They got green control, looking work from top down, but they lose every gunfight. Marshall holds on, and we get a lead change.
Yeah, lead change comes through. They'll eclipse over 200 points before USI even get a sniff over towards this point. Gotta wait for numbers here. 2-for-1 kill feed. Not expecting the player over by the trailer cards. It's Paralysis cutting things down. He saw Johnny slide through over by the cut, and he calls things out. Top Church controls everything, Colin. And Marshall are locking things down. This back 30 is more than secured.
This is night and day in the second set of hills. Marshall having a good pep talk going into this P3, 4, 5. And now breaking the 200-point marker, only 40 points away from taking Game 1 away from Southern Indiana, who just moments ago, Andy, we were saying had this game in the bag. It is falling between their fingertips.
It's Scar, though, so you can really keep things on a knife's edge. Brando actually wins a crucial gunfight. If he can maintain top stairs control over by Motel, it would have been very impactful ahead of the rotation. But now it's just Conquering control for USI. An opportunity for action to get inside a 10. Remember, towards the first set, this is where the Aviators truly struggled. They could fall towards that same struggle through this third set, and it could be the game. But they're holding things on the other side, and they're only 10 points behind.
That's a good prick up by Grim to shut down that flank from Orbital. Still holding on to this early time in P1. Can he find anything more? No. Paralysis finds the break for Marshall. Nobody can win off this hill. We will be going to a P2, Andy. And early on, Marshall not only contesting this P1 time, holding about a 10-point lead, they also have bodies over towards the new hill. A rogue spawn from Brando, though. This is something that I don't think Marshall will read.
How would they? Because now you got north to south spawns over on the other side. Top blue control comes through from Koth. Good capture here from our observer, but premature shots into the ankles from Orbitals gives away his position, and now the spawns do get anchored. But Brando's off on an island, over by the train cars. This is causing chaos. Marshall are just locking things down upstairs, just ticking away towards the game win.
And Marshall winning every single crucial gunfight right now. Southern Indiana a little disconnected all over the place, and they just cannot get into this hard point. Marshall 15 seconds away. Lots of time to win it off this hill. You need a heroic moment from the Aviators, and they gotta fly. Only 9 seconds left. Everybody grouped up from the front to slide in for the contest. Action's gonna back down, and Koth is in. Here comes Southern Indiana. They got some players at the time. You're looking at Grim, and he takes it away.
Someone needs to start rotating over towards new, albeit you're going to be leaving your teams in a numbers disadvantage. Marshall need to think about the same. It's only 8 points going to be the difference, and that could be the difference as far as getting ahead of the rotation. Johnny's already ahead of the grain. He's able to win the one inside of 10. So numbers can start bumping away over by the concrete. Action's the next one up, and action knocks the next two down. That might just be the game.
8 seconds is all you have. You need some players here. P5 spawns in the back. Through the middle of the map, Grim's gonna get cut down. Prowess is in the open, still wins one, snaps the second one. It doesn't matter. Marshall from down but not out. Climb their way back in the Scar hardpoint, managed to topple the Aviators inside of map 1, leading the series with an emphatic set of hills there in the second set of time.
Anybody see what Orbital's KD ratio was at the end of the first set? Like, it had to have been somewhere near double negative. I think it was like 8 and 15. I'm not even joking. Like, look at the game flow chart. Double helix. Oh, it's so nice to look at, my word. 154 just flatlined up to 157. And then the Marshall University just, like, slowly picked things up throughout the second set. It was the P2, P3, into the P4. Like I said, Colin, that's your money rotation here on Scar. And they executed it so wonderfully. You get that head glitch over by plane. You get the trophy system advantage. And then you're able to get the rotation on concrete, back blue, sticky spawns, and then the blitz just to flip the break that almost broke the camel's back for USI to be able to win the game, in my humble opinion. Just caused chaos there at the end, but resolve being shown and so many more attributes out of this Marshall University roster. Golly me.
I mean, I think, you know, a lot comes back to what I saw yesterday when I was casting over the Zips and a brand new face that we got for the team. With Southern Indiana, I mean, it just looked like a little bit of an experience when you got over towards the back half at P4, P5 in the second set of rotations. You saw Marshall kind of locked in. They knew what they were doing. They were playing together. They had an idea of how to climb back into it. And, you know, in those last couple of hills, the Aviators just kind of looked a little all over the place, Andy. It looked like they didn't have a direct line on what they wanted to get done to close out that game 1.
Oh, you know what they say, Calvin? If you fly too high, sometimes the sunglasses don't mean a dang thing. 250 to 233 is the final score. I mean, you saw like the lead swap come through, and like that was a big turning page moment. Action was starting to find all these different two pieces. Like you get the 8,300 almost damage in between him and Nico, and you look at the non-traded as well. But what really jumps off the page is like how close the assist discrepancy and kill discrepancy is at the end of the game. Do you remember, you know, like the end of the first set, like I was ready to call it, like USI, and I was ready to die on that hill too. They were just by kill and veracity of just blitzing alone by sheer numbers. They were poised to be able to win the game, but I mean, we didn't get the listen in, but like there had to have been like a coming of an age story within like the comms. Marshall, just on the mini map alone, like pulled themselves back because all the numbers here say everything of a close game. But at the end of that first set, if you miss it, go back. It was anything but that.
I mean, you just kind of look at it too. You have two players who are kind of hovering around the 40 kill marker there for Southern Indiana. For a good portion of that map 1, like 3 out of the 4 members of Marshall were actually negative. It was like like you said, it's like a coming of age, like a flip switch for this team. And they really took over that back half of that map number 1. I mean, it kind of just, I think that's the Nico special sometimes. It's the same thing that happened in the CCL playoffs last year, Andy. That top 8 just came out of nowhere for Marshall. You never see it coming with this team. But with, you know, Southern Indiana still looking good, I mean, that is incredible to see from a team that, you know, just came off in an 0-3 just before this match even started. So to see the Aviators still playing like that gives me lots of hope going into this map too.
Yeah, I mean, even through the listening, like I was giving them like their praise, their flowers. They were calming phenomenally. They just never fully picked up on the route execution of it all. You even saw coming out of that listening going in towards the P2. Just some minor mistakes coming out from some of the players from USI, not recognizing that everybody should be able to take those routes. You don't need just to rely on one player. You can't always bang out from the front, especially over by P2. And ultimately, that's what came to be the edge. That's coming of the age story. But I don't know. I like to imagine like Nico being a parent. Like if his team starts getting down, like you just hear like Bluey playing in the background because he's a dad. Like you just hear like some Bluey soundtrack going on. Like I'm locked in, man. At that point, I'm ready to bang it out. I'm ready to route from behind, man, I'm getting pumped for rank play. Colin, that's going to be our playlist for sure. We're going to be
I was going to say, we're going to be loading into a Scar hardpoint. I'm going to be listening to the Bluey soundtrack coming from Andy's microphone, and I'm not going to know what to do at that point. It's going to be either I'm dropping 50 kills that map, Andy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're gonna be dropping at least 3 nukes on opening day of rank, buddy.
Or I'm
going
going 4 and 23.
Parasite on the opposite side of the lobby. Like I need you more locked into anything. Don't even listen to anything I'm saying. Just listen to Bluey, dog.
That's what it's going to take here. Can we get a look at the maps? Can we get a look at the maps and move on from this conversation, please? We get the Den Search and Destroy coming up, Andy, where Southern Indiana, again, playing off that back foot after what is going to be a heartbreaking game number 1. Fortunately enough, I'd say for Den, this one's a little bit more straightforward for a Search and Destroy map. It's very easy to kind of have dictated attacking sides where you're like, okay, let's just either bang out B, you know, you can linger through mid with a default setup, or it's a bang out A. It really just seems very standard on this map.
Oh, absolutely. I'm more questioning on like who's the sniper for these two teams. I'm gonna be seeing some like clips. You think it's gonna be Nico?
Yeah, 100%. It's gonna
I'm thinking back to like MW19. I think it would be like the last time I would have seen like Paralysis maybe bring out the sniper, because I don't think he played in Vanguard, and if he did, I'm sorry, I don't really remember it. But like,
that was a long time ago, to be fair.
It is a long time ago, man. I'm getting old. My brain don't work that well no more. But I'm just saying, like, I think that's going to be where like the impact could be found or lost, because regardless, these two teams ended at the same rate as the other two, as the other series that we had to start off everything, and that was a 6-0, just absolute slammage. So it very much so could be the difference maker as far as who's grinding the late nights, who's staying up until the butt crack of dawn. Playing all of those S&D wagers, getting nerdy as well. We've seen some of those spots at the end of Major 1. We're going to see any of them here? Maybe.
Is this an intended line of sight, Andy?
I don't know, man.
That's always the question these days.
That's a comp ops problem.
I love this map. I mean, how can you not appreciate how beautiful this map is every time you're kind of going through the fly-through? It is so well put together. And Brody and I were talking about it yesterday, is that this map, at first, for Search and Destroy and Overload, we're like, okay, yeah, maybe if there was a little bit of a transitional hallway to outer lights, then maybe this map looks elite. But slowly and slowly, this map just became S tier for me.
Oh, Grim's playing on the tree. If you don't know about that tree, you're going to learn when you play rank play. But he has to concede the space all the way in towards Dojo, so that keeps things at a 3v3. Your smoke player still up may not matter. It's going to be planted for the Dojo side, but I don't know, the post-plant defense, especially Action, is deep.
Yeah, Orbital's the S&D demon for Marshall. Player, you got to be watching out for this team to really come active right now in the game number 2. Good shots in the first one. Still isolating these fights, but not able to take anything away from it. Just the damage. Instead, Koff finds a route, makes it a 2 versus 1. Brought down to a 1v1 for Action. In 22 seconds here, smoke is down. Action's actually going to spot the cross. Now, a little bit of a tango between these two as Johnny going to clutch up in the 1 versus 1, but not able to get it done for Marshall. It's an opening round, 1-0 on Den.
Yeah, I mean, you're mostly just like hoping for the janky slide. You can see like from even this perspective, he gets like the direct slide to the left, but sometimes even off of like that challenge, you can get a little bit more of like a forward momentum, gives yourself more of a winning opportunity. But the moment you get over towards like that side of the map, from you give up 10, gave up such a powerful head glitch. Just wonderfully execute from Action, just continuing off the hot hand that he had from that map 1. Going in towards this one on a 2. Retake denied. The opening offense for USI, they're going to try to peek things over by the rooftops. There's not a single defender here. Action's aware, though.
Oh, he did see it. The shadows.
Had to have.
So here's the call for the quick flank from Orbital to the middle of the map. Good nade onto the foot of Johnny. An opening first blood is going to really slow down this bomb plant. Orbital's still working this flank, so you're really on a timer now if you're Southern Indiana and trying to get this post plant active, and the rest of Marshall just going to barrel on through. The timing for Action couldn't be better to find his 4th in a row. Everything in shambles now for the setup of the Aviators, trying to defend this bomb. 32 seconds. Koff's going to bring one back. Actually stopping that one, but now Orbital, his flank's finally going to come into the work, and that's going to be it for the round.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to see action kind of like favors life a little bit more. Could have got the defuse, maybe a couple more shots, wait for like a bait for that inevitable switch. You had the numbers, but just wonderfully executed coming through from Marshall, just waiting for their numbers, waiting for the flank. The pressure, albeit felt, never really needed because the execution from the front side is where all the arrows were immediately pulled. But Orbitals will find the back handful of kills of some good old jump bounces, but no streaks in play anymore. But a 2-0 lead is nothing to scoff at. So going in towards this next offense, you like to imagine that Marshall might just continue to hit B. I hope that USI are going to throw some util over towards this side of the map to maybe get that information and stop them from that quick plant that we saw last time.
And right now, oh, Brando's got the snipes out. First blood to the Aviators. And right now, you're asking if you're Paralysis, do you like Bluey? Is that what it's going to take now to bring this one back? Grim in trouble. A couple nades at the footstep. Orbital's going to find his way around. Action brings numbers back for the Thundering Herd. Cough now for Southern Indiana. He's going to give himself away, trying to find an angle to bring things into a 2 versus 2, but instead, Marshall getting that bomb down. This is going to be a really hard one, especially with Brando holding that snipe to retake.
Yeah. He's going to give it up. It's still going to be a sniper life regardless. GA don't work like that, and I'm keeping track. You're going to have to do this the hard way, though. Yeah, I'd imagine that you're going to have to reflank this all the way through. Action's going to be the first one up.
Well, Action, immediately, he's going to
I say he knows both is here.
18 seconds. Action goes down. 2 versus 2. Suddenly, we got ourselves around, but now if you're Marshall, all you have to do is play that time clock. Quan's going to be throwing some shoulders. Orbital brings it to a 1v2. Brando's going to be overwhelmed, and again, it's Orbital, a double kill to put that round away. Marshall walking away quickly with this game number 2.
Yeah, again, it's that quick execute over towards the P site. Live by it, swear by it, but if you don't get stopped by it, aka this attacks that need to be thrown over the top from the defenders, really difficult site to retake, especially when you don't have 10 control. You got a player pushed up inside a dojo, one player watching the flank, and that guy's name is Action. He's 5 and 2, and Orbitals is on 5. Like,
it's so
math ain't
upsetting.
mathin' right now for this one to turn easy for USI, but they're gonna bang things out through mid.
It's so upsetting because that's back-to-back rounds where Aviators get first blood and they don't transition it into a round 1. This time, Marshall to Action to get that first blood of the rounds. Inside computers, Quan's going to be here. A second one for the Thundering Herd. Grim trades it out, but is it too late? Still panic on the side of Southern Indiana on what to do in these situations. All of a sudden, it's Grim in a 1v3. He's trying to find something to bring it back, but instead, he finds Action, and he's not going to take that win.
4-0 now. And Marshall just throwing out just simplistic rollouts. I mean, there's nothing outside of standard defense. You got the top-bottom split through mid. Island player over by A. One player playing over by B, just expecting the challenge to come through over by the dojo, side over by Tim, but the bang out through mid was, I wouldn't say slow, because we didn't get to see fully like the nades, like if they landed over on the defender side of the map. Like, regardless, needed to up the ante a little bit. Maybe a third SMG could have been the cause there. Regardless, Orbitals, he's up to 6. Does that give him the streak?
Doesn't look like they're playing for the streak right now.
I don't think they need it, to be fair.
Smokes out Grim. Pretty good for finding at least one from this position in the past. But he just has no help from 6 inside dojo. Grim's been quiet through the smoke.
Oh, it's a tree.
Tough one to take it. Yeah, the tree comes in handy there. First blood again to Southern Indiana, hoping that they can convert this into a round win. Smoke now blocking off that bomb site. Brando gets a snipe team kill onto Johnny. What is going on here for the Aviators? It's falling back apart quickly. 20 seconds on the retake. Action's going to bring it into a 3 versus 2. Shot through the wall connect for Paralysis. Andy, what is going on?
Both sniper lives now lost for Brando. It's just so tough, right? You're discombobulated. You're trying to make something work, and by the time that the XQ comes through, you go left, and so does the sniper coming out from dojo, and you just lose the back of your skull. This is tough, man. Because if anything, that could have been the opportunity to overwhelm with numbers from the opener that they were able to get from the retake, but man, still 5 immediate kills, 5 rounds to 0. Marshall team can do no wrong. Oh, this is something absolutely brutal.
It's funny to say too, because Marshall are 2 and 3 in first bloods, still managing to hold on to a 5-0 lead.
Hey,
here's a
we
moment.
go.
Okay, Koff double kill to open up this round. Surely this has got to be the one.
Well, they're not. Okay, I was about to say they were not going to plant the bomb. They were going to elect to rotate all the way around, which is sometimes the right play. Johnny playing the lurk forces out the 1v4 from Quan. They took all the players off of the streaks. Quan gets good damage, but won't win the gunfight in the end.
Ooh.
They still have a Hellstorm missile to worry about, but at least USI get there first.
This is not a blowout. We do not go 12-0 in search and destroy rounds today.
Colin, you can't start a full sail without a 5-0.
Wise words right there. Put that on a t-shirt somewhere.
CCL on the back. And they're making a pocketed t-shirt, and like the pocket is like the CCL logo on the back. It's like you can't start a full sail without a 5-0. Shout out the Armada, excuse me.
Shout out my cornmeal.
Oh yeah, love that guy. I forgot he's a player this year.
Yeah. Can't wait till you get him on stream Monday. It's gonna be something else, I'll tell you that. But hey, you know, I like that too. Confidence from Johnny on the challenges through mid, and it needs some more of that after what we saw in game number 1. But Johnny goes down right away in round number 7. Brando's soon to follow. Orbital's trying to get active towards the computer side. Grim and Koff making some noise in this round. Bring it back to a 2 versus 2, and that creates some issues for Marshall trying to get this bomb down at A.
He's baiting the head glitch out over by computer. So smart out of Grim. Just to play one of these corners instead. Koff's gonna reveal himself here, top window side.
Oh, look at this.
Stun will connect. Keep action honest. It's gonna get Grim to get active. Action takes the chow with the Dravik, puts him down. Bomb planted 1v2. Hello.
1v1.
Goodbye.
4 in a row for Koff. Can he make it number 5? Action, go for the chase down, gets the early shots. Koff with the pistol. What a nutty chow from Koff, but he's not gonna get it done. 6-1 for Marshall. They take game number 2. They lead the series. And we start raising some red alert now for Southern Indiana, still looking for their first win.
If you ask me, Colin, if we're 5-1 down and I'm in that 1v1, like come rank play, we're gonna get that den search and destroy, and we're gonna be in that situation, right? Like I'm gonna be in that 1v1 scenario. It's gonna be 5-1. I'm taking that chow every single day of the week. Valid to take that chow, but an absolute B2A. Golly, I mean, that B-bomb site was just... It was the herds, man. And you don't want to go against 4 fighting buffalo on a B-bomb site on dead, apparently.
And look, the only thing that really turns into a Southern Indiana round win is like, it's okay, you can get the first bloods for sure, but it's when you get the second blood as well from Koff. The only time they actually convert into a round win is when Koff opens up the round with a double kill over towards that B-bomb site. And even then, you really thought Marshall still had a chance. Johnny shuts them down to the middle of the map, and that's what really puts them on the board there. But Marshall, you're right. I had some B2A. And to go up 2-0 after what it looked like in that first map, when it really could have been a 1-1 right now for the Aviators going into this Scar overload, I think Marshall are really feeling confident going into this map 3.
I would hope so. I'm feeling confident on their behalf, Colin, and I'd like to thank the Academy. 11-3 from action, 1,600 damage. Like, are we sure? 8 of those kills were not traded, by the way. And those first bloods you kept talking about, like the 3, they all came from action. Like this guy knows a good head glitch. Take notes, kids. So you're gonna need them coming this week for rank play. But combine that with orbitals, such good timing. I mean, it's just like that serendipitous search and destroy. Like there's so much just pressure coming through from the ARs. To be fair, like USI, the way that they were going for a lot of these challenges did kind of play into a lot of these head glitches. But then that backline pressure comes through because they were, by the time that they were worried about the flank, they were already down by so many numbers.
And man, I mean, you got a little bit of action from Grim around the tree. I love the plays that he was making over towards that B site. I mean, there's so many times when he was using that tree, you get that first blood. He pretty much got out most of it too. It's just you couldn't retake the site once the bomb goes down. Every single time Marshall were able to kind of make that happen. And the one time that you might have had a chance, Brando snipes your teammate in the back of the head. And you're sitting there, if you're Southern Indiana, you don't even know what's going on. I didn't know what's going on. You got smokes down, you got chaos and pandemonium, and it's really unfortunate right now to see the Aviators down 0-2 against Marshall, because I really thought they were going to be sitting 1-1 when we were watching that Scar hard point. I'm excited to see what they can do, Andy, but before we get to the overload, we got a little bit of a break between then, so we'll take a step back. We'll come back with some CCL very, very soon. Welcome back, everybody, to College COD as we're jumping into the third map between Southern Indiana Aviators and Marshall Thundering Herd. Andy, it's a very different story than one might have expected after watching the Scar hardpoint back in map number 1. Marshall, a dominant search and destroy win. They're leading 2-0, and now the Aviators on the back foot have to reverse sweep to put themselves in the win column for College COD.
Look, if you're looking for your one saving grace for USI, at least you're going back into a respawn. That was very competitive, to your point, Colin. 250 to 233 on the opening map there on Scar. It's an absolute barn burner. Some, including myself and our producer, who will not be named, aka J-Pros, would agree that USI absolutely threw that map away. But I mean, like the 6-1 dense search and destroy, you go in towards the break, and hopefully that's enough of a regain for the Aviators for Southern Indiana to go in towards the Scar overload with their chins up, right? Because the Scar hardpoint, it did play well for them. They were able to find good openings through their rotations over towards the plain side of the map and over towards blue. Oh, the back end of Johnny. That guy was insane.
J Johnny, not O Johnny, not Johnny
J
Tsunami.
Johnny, 3 N's, 2 Y's, 2 J's, my bad.
Yep.
No H's, no
J,
tsunamis.
bro. It's Johnny. J Johnny.
It's
Scar overload. So this is one thing that you said earlier, is like the one map where maybe on one side you can park the bus but not on the other. But I will say, if there's any map on overload that I would like somebody to park the bus against me on, it is this map, because I feel like this is the most breakable map.
So you want somebody to park the bus
On this map,
Okay.
because I feel like I could break it on this map. Like every other map, it's just
break
like
the
chalk it
bus
up.
on this map, Colin.
I can break the bus.
I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm gonna get Parasite, J-Cap, Enable, and Crim. That's my team. You ain't breaking that, man. All right, let's go here, man. Big opportunity for Southern Indiana Aviators. Can they start a reverse sweep?
It's a big question. Well, Orbital's already through to the back of the spawn of Southern Indiana. He's looking to tear up a couple of those players with the respawn, and Cobb's going to get caught right away. You see Brando turns around, but Orbital's still alive. 3 go down. And we're off to the gates early for Marshall, trying to get their first score on. Nobody's going to grab the overload objective. Everybody's just looking for kills.
Yeah, Quan's going to double back. Hope thought he was going to grab the EMP. Lux not to, and as the most up forward for the players of Marshall, he goes out of 10 and just dies. So what was a pretty good opening break-off turns into a Brando 5 spree.
Hey, I feel like that immediately makes up sniping your teammate in the back of the head.
No, I'm still triggered about it.
Well, maybe a couple others are too, but for Southern Indiana, good graces is that you basically get spawn trapped and nothing really comes from it. Marshall had no real thought to move that objective after getting those opening kills with the break-off, and now is their time as they're working through the middle of the map. You got a player with the objective moving through both side. 3 players from Southern Indiana trying to collapse on it, and it looks like that collapse is going to work out. 3 kills for the Aviators. They shut down the attack, and now time to counter.
Yeah, you needed that pinch to come through from Concrete and to at least go 1-for-1 for that boat push to find any sort of success. Push over towards Church. Not the easiest of the two when you're thinking from the blue over towards green rotation. USI also having to recollect themselves. Very even from this side of the map, Colin. Very even to the opening half.
And usually that's not the case. Usually this is an area where you think that players would more so enjoy being on the attacking side. But for Marshall, they haven't really been able to put together too much of a go at these end zones. And Southern Indiana slowly and slowly working their way across the map. We get ourselves past that 50-yard line. I think this is the furthest I've seen an Aviator pushed up, but Koff's going to go down, and you got full plane control right now for Marshall.
Yeah, not a whole lot of pressure. I think the closest that we've seen the overload device get towards one of these two zones was when it was over by concrete. Respawns back towards the smack dab center of the map, pinstripe kill feed, and it just comes to the 50-yard line. Quan's gonna try to bump forward. Try to get inside of blue, loses the initial one, needs action to pick things up on the opposite side, but it's turmoil on the opposite.
Yeah, it is. Still nobody's been able to score. 2 minutes left on the clock in the first half of this overload, and with that break, 2 go down, and Marshall going to start to work this overload device out towards the plane. Good shots from Johnny. You still got action in the spawn. I don't think you got there in time if your orbitals to grab that overload device. Players from Southern Indiana move into the power positions. They get an angle on Quan, shut down the attack, and we still remain scoreless. Full defense for Southern Indiana. They do not want to make a play.
Yeah, hey, the best defense is a good defense, I guess. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just... It's hard to capitalize in an overload map when you don't find, like, a full, like, 3-for-1. Because it just feels like that these two teams are just going to constantly just trade things out. We're scuffling over, like, some of, like, the more wrong areas in the map. There's another action 2-piece. Is that enough to warrant a push? Orbitals takes down Brando. We got action inside of blue, but they wrapped it all the way back through because, yeah, action's probably thinking, where's the rest of my team? That was probably the best opportunity to try to pivot off of something, but the device effectively goes nowhere.
No, it's basically like you're parking the bus in the middle of the map.
Like, but you park the bus when you have a score.
I was gonna say you don't even have a lead, so you're not really achieving.
Bus to be parked.
I know it's the bus that doesn't move. Koff, good shots. It's only damage though. 3 go down, and here's your moment. 1 player left. It's Johnny. Still manages to find that kill. Nobody's got the device. Quad's gonna go back, and there it is. Finally, Marshall put themselves on the board. 30 seconds left in this half. You are in deep waters now if you're Southern Indiana. You have not been able to get the objective across the point, but you are going to pick it up. Give yourself a chance here.
Overtime will spawn here in 10 seconds, and then if the overload device carrier dies like they just did, the round will end. Brando is going to show his hand here, and that hand is holding a pistol. He's going to get shot in the back. Action's going to pick things up on him. Nico finds another one. 3 dead now for USI. Don't tell me we picked up the fundies in, like, the last 45 seconds of the round. Like, I'm just, like...
Is that...
I'm flabbergasted. Like... I'm confused. I'm frustrated. And I need a bottle of milk.
I'll get that to you right away.
Thank you.
Is that the new strat? You just ice the team for the entire half and then last minute?
No. I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's not weird. A strat that I trust in, but it's what we got. It's just in the last minute, we saw 2-3 downs for Marshall, an overtime capture, a 2-0 lead, and the Aviators, man, every single time that they try to make a play through the middle of the map, I feel like you hardly get past that 50-yard line. I mean, eventually, you need to start seeing Johnny show that confidence like he had in game 1, get those power positions, start putting kills on the board for your team to grab that overload device and start making a play for that end zone.
The kill discrepancy is like almost 10. It is 10 now. It's up to 12 off of this opening break. We should be hooping. Oh, yeah. Marshall. Absolutely should be hooping. Here comes the push there off of the spawn. Orbitals, the device carrier, now the tip of the spear. Quan trying to pick things up, and Lee dies. So, yeah, I think it's just like a learning of the game mode and just trying to execute together with whatever numbers are still together is going to be like the biggest learning curve for these CCL teams.
Yeah, for everybody, because it's even a topic that we had on day 1. It's just how much overload have a lot of these players really had going into this season of CCL. For a lot of them, this might be the first time that they're really playing overload competitively. For some of them, you know, like Paralysis, who never gets off the game, he's going to have some idea of what to do right now. So for Marshall, they got a little bit extra fundamentals to work off of, a 3-0 lead, and really everything pointing their way for a sweep in the series.
Sure looking that way. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Device not even going to get picked up here. This is where you can quite literally not touch the device. The proverbial bus can be parked by not sitting in the driver's seat, I suppose, but... on action, 2 for 1. Johnny, the only one to get kills here for USI. He's not alone on this play. Brando's alongside of him, but they've lost sight of one. It's Paralysis. He's top church. He throws some premature shots, so the offensive push is still on for the Aviators.
Cough up top on the ledge. 3 go down, and here's your chance. Just one more to take care of it. Brando with the pistol puts it away for the Aviators. Back on the board. 3 minutes to work with, and a little bit more of that. They still got so much time. It's not over yet.
No, I'd say it's still not over. Still ample time to try to tie things up. Force it inside of OT. Orbitals, though. That's a big 2. That was a very sneaky 15 and 20, but a very diabolical 2-piece. Just keeps all of USI just trapped on their side of the map. E2 control coming through here for Marshall, and they're just trying to maintain presence just around this EMP device while Paralysis is just running laps around the B zone.
Brando still walks away too in a dire situation. Johnny off spawn is going to get into an angle to stop that 4th capture from going in. Still 2 minutes and 20 seconds to capture 2 overloads if you're Southern Indiana. And they're finally getting some ball time. Cough, nice shots on the Paralysis there, but Action going to cut him down. Good trades coming out from Marshall to keep the pressure on and keep Southern Indiana on the back foot for this defensive setup. And do it through the middle of the map. Nice shots there. Backs up. Just tags up Quan. Overwhelmed. Cough team kills. And it's 3 down for Southern Indiana. Action's going to make it 4 down. They're going to pick up that device. See if they can get the spawn trap going.
Yeah, Orbitals need to find a handful of more kills before it's even possible. The only player was Action. He found the 2-piece, but not enough pressure over by the train card side. Grim will double things down. Cough there for the 3rd. So all of your spawn has been cleared. Grim gets inside a 10. Here comes the sprint. But they need to be able to find the kills as well while they're making the sprint happen. The more time that they give away and also the kills gets closer towards that 3-0.
Struggling right now, Southern Indiana just not able to be that lead blocker for their overload carrier. Action on 7 HP. He's looking to finesse. Brando, nice shots to the wall. Johnny is way far ahead of the rest of the team. He's got to stop for a second just to regroup. And here you go. Here's your chance. Nice couple kills coming out from Southern Indiana. 2 go down. You're going to get across if you're Johnny, and it is a home free capture for number 2. 52 seconds left to tie this game up and bring us to overtime.
Oh, Grim. He also goes 1 for 1 over by P1. Action's gone unnoticed, though. It's over by the train cars. Should get 1 for free. He does. And he's still 100 HP, so he's ready for the next chow, but doesn't have the centering quite aligned. 30 seconds remain. You pick up that device again, it goes straight to OT. If you hold on to it during that overtime, it goes into sudden death. No respawns remain at that point.
Oh.
The Aviators are starting to find the elimination. They're just mindlessly sprinting over towards Concrete Go, and that just puts the device in a precarious position, makes things very less doable for the Aviators.
At this point now, for Marshall, you can park the bus in the back of the map and trust your Slayers to do their job. Aviators making one last run. Brando through the middle of the map, finds the kill, doesn't get it picked up in time. And Marshall with the 3-0 sweep on day 2. Gonna take the series and put themselves 2-0 in the CCL standings to kick off the year.
That's a big week 1 coming through for Marshall University. I know that the Nego pop-off was probably immense. I hope that the monitor stayed on the desk. But hey, USI gave themselves real good opportunities to fight over this one. You'll see here in the overload breakdown that the majority of that first half, I mean, we went just about as even as you could possibly imagine as far as kills are concerned, just because of some weird nonsense that I feel like I need to take a walk to fully explain and digest. But whatever it may be, like Marshall just were clearly cut to be the better slaying team. You just go back to that first set of hard points out of Scar, and Marshall just needed that Bluey pep talk, and ever since that night, there was no looking back.
It's all Bluey for
always was,
Marshall.
Man.
And it always will be Bluey. Man, looking back at this series, yeah, I mean, that Scar definitely could have been something else for Southern Indiana, and I'm sure when they look back at that VODs, they're going to think about that second set of rotations, especially the P3, P4 lineup that you were talking about, Andy, that really shifted things back in Marshall's favor. That's when you saw the Thundering Herd really kick it into next gear. Search and Destroy, it's a big pinpoint for the Aviators to work on going into week number 2. I'm sure they're going to put a lot of focus into that game mode to see if they can make improvements for the rest of the season. And Scar Overload, man, literally half a second longer, and we could have been gifted in overtime.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the hindsight, but like also just the reality and like the cheesy thing is like when you think about Overload, like this is probably like one of the more like complaining parts of it, but like the reality, you can't drop the device, right? So you just let him stay alive. Overtime ensues. You already found the opener and you already got inside a small. So once you know where the device carrier is, once that overtime starts, once you get that kill, like that guy's not respawning anymore. So like that's the big difference maker, in my humblest opinion, in between the first and the second half, and just being able to realize like where the game state is. But again, these are college athletes. I'm so thankful that they even have time to be able to load into scrims, let alone load into a match at this time of the week. So very hopeful to be able to see USI in the future.
Just the start of this team, I mean, so much to kind of go off of and improve on for the rest of the season, and I'm excited to see where they can reach across the 2026 year of College COD. But it's not it for the rest of the night. We still got one more matchup. It's the Battle of California coming up after this break.